standing here right by your side. I will be standing here till the end of time. I will be standing here all through the night, till the stars align. Something's gonna bring the change. Journeys we are meant to take. Something at the edge of space, calling us to fly away. Don't you be afraid, everything will change. You and I, jumping off the edge. They say dreamers never die, so come and fly, come and fly, come and fly away with me. We're rising, we're falling, we're making moves. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000 views. We're rising, we're falling, we're making moves. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000 views. Come and fly away, come and fly away, come and fly away with me.
Hello, all you YouTubians out there in the galaxy. I come back to you today with a story of a 12-year-old little girl who back in 1970s, February of 1970s, was walking home from school one day with her friends, and she got kidnapped, nabbed, abducted by a horrific man who did monstrous things to her. Let me just read this to you real quick. It says, many area residents remember the brutal way Betty Jean died in February of 1970. The 12-year-old sixth grader at Kingsley School was walking home from school the same way she did every day, with two friends. The threesome arrived at the other girl's home first, and Betty Jean had to walk up a hill and around a bend in the road before reaching her own house. It was in the bend, which was surrounded by a wooded area, that Bowen grabbed Betty Jean and dragged her a mile or so through the woods to a secluded cave. Along the way, he tied her up, ripped off her clothes, and arred her. Bowen pew-pewed Betty Jean 4 times and buried her in a shallow grave in the cave. She was not dead when he left her. Markings at the cave site where investigators found the body indicated she tried to get loose. An autopsy would reveal dirt in her lungs, meaning she smothered to death. Now, the whole point of me bringing this to your attention is the whole thing of the dungeon, the rabbit hole that Green Eyes and Jody Sue talk about. The people have brought up the caves that are up there. And just take a look at these pictures, guys. I mean, could you imagine? There's plenty of room for people to walk around in these caves. The picture you saw at the beginning of this video is the man who shot the video of the inside of this cave. I'm going to put a link to the original video that I got the pictures from in the description box. But for all you naysayers out there who think, oh, that's not a possibility, well, here you go. Granted, this happened back in February of 1970, and I'm assuming that the little girl was found by investigators the same year. I've not been able to verify that, but I'm assuming it was all in the same year that they found her. Now, the man was, he did get the death penalty, but in 1972, the governor, well, it was ruled that the death penalty was inhuman. So the governor state his, I don't know how you exactly say it. Hang on one second, I'll tell you. Let me just read this to you. It says Kirkpatrick has said Betty Jean's murder was the worst he had ever worked, and he still believed Bowen deserved to be unalive for the crime. The death penalty was ruled unconstitutional, not inhuman, but unconstitutional in 1972, and Tennessee's governor at the time commuted the sentence to 99 years in prison. Now, this guy, Bowen, has went up for parole, and this was back in 2012 or something, I believe is when this article was wrote. At that time, he had already been up for parole twice and was turned down. And each time he goes up for parole, Betty Jean's family drives all the way to, I believe it's Tiptonville, Tiptonville. And that's up in the far right corner, I believe they said, of Tennessee. That's where he's being held. But they drive up there every time he comes up for parole to, encourage them to keep him in jail. And we hope and pray that whoever did whatever to Summer, that's what they get to. So I'm not, by no means am I saying that Summer is in this cave, this particular cave. The research was done. I believe there's been a subdivision put over where these caves, these actual caves are at. There's been a subdivision put up there. But plain and simple fact is, it's not the only caves in Sullivan County. It's not the only caves in Hawkins County. And for Don Wells to have said there will never be any evidence, you have to wonder, guys, was she dropped down the rabbit hole? I mean, if you take a look at these pictures, it sure looks like a rabbit hole to me. I mean, it looks like what you imagine when you think of Alice in Wonderland and her falling down the rabbit hole. That's sort of what you think of. Dark, dreary, damp. Oh, wait, that sounds like a dungeon. So you think about it, guys, and you tell me what you think. Should there be more volunteers, or should there be volunteers allowed, should I say? Should there be volunteers allowed to go up there and splunk in those caves and see if they can't find summerwells and see if maybe, just maybe, hypothetically, if that might be where she was placed? I hear that there's tons of caves up there. I think somebody needs to investigate it. Until next time, guys, pray for the case, pray for the kids, pray for each other.